Hey everybody, Minnesota Joe here, back with a review for Money in the Bank, which happened last night. And what a show, I gotta say. A lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of ugly. But you know what? Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't regret watching it, so that's good. At least it's not like Backlash where I just absolutely hated it. Yesterday was Father's Day, so I mean, I had to go to a Father's Day party, and then afterwards, I watched Money in the Bank with my friends. So, I mean, I forgot my laptop to take notes, so I'm just going to try to do this all by memory. So, I mean, this video might not be as long, so I might be just summarizing a lot of stuff. Okay, let's talk about this show. First is the SmackDown Tag Titles kickoff match, which I didn't watch because it's on the pre-show, and I don't give a shit about the pre-show. It's usually just a nothing match anyways, so why do I care? Bludgeon Brothers won that anyways, so like no surprise there. It's on the pre-show. Are they really going to do a title change on the pre-show? No, never. Next is Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass, and I actually made it like to my friend's house quite near the beginning of this match. Like, I missed like the first 5 minutes maybe, but you know, nothing really to miss. The whole match was kind of like boring from what I've seen. Daniel Bryan did do a really cool jump off of the top rope to the outside, so that was cool. But other than that, it was like nothing really going on. It was just your average little match, and nothing great. I mean, I think it was, from what I've seen, it was a little better than the one at Backlash, but that's not saying much. I just hope that this is the end of that feud, and Daniel Bryan can move on to bigger and better things, because I'm tired of watching him versus Big Cass. This feud sucks. Next, we got Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, and the match, before the match, they were talking about Sammy tweeting at Bobby Lashley, Lashley's dad, on Father's Day, saying that he's dedicating the match to him because, you know, he wants to beat up Bobby Lashley, you know, who's a disappointment to his father and stuff, and a fake military man, blah blah blah. And Lashley basically said, "I'm gonna kick your ass, fool," and kick his ass he did. Sammy, he tried to cheat early, you know, got a couple good shots in, but I mean, overall, just got destroyed by Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is throwing him around everywhere, just beating him up. Sami Zayn begging for mercy. Bobby Lashley, at the end of the match, does 3 vertical suplexes to Sammy. Does 1, does 2, does 3. And then wins with a pin after all those. And yeah, Sammy now has vertigo forever, I'm betting, so yeah, we probably won't be seeing Sammy for a while. Yeah, overall I thought it was a fine match. I forgot to give ratings to this. I don't know, Daniel Bryan Big Cass 3 out of 10. This match 4, or 4.5 out of 10. It's nothing great, a little bit of a below average match, but you know, whatever, it just happened, and it's there. And you know, if you want to watch Sami Zayn get beat up, it's fine. It's fun to watch Sammy get beat up a little bit. Sammy's a good heel, I think. But Bobby Lashley, I don't know about this being his finisher, the vertical suplex, you know, like delayed vertical suplex, because like, sure, it's fine against guys like Sami Zayn, but like when he tried it against Big Cass and Kevin Owens, who are much bigger guys, he almost dropped them on their heads. Cass almost died. And Kevin, like, he couldn't even keep him up for that long, so I mean, it's like, yeah, Lashley, he needs a better finisher, I think. You know, something different, like maybe keep the vertical as a finisher, but add a second one to him, so when he faces like a guy like Big Cass or Kevin Owens, he doesn't need to do that vertical suplex and risk hurting somebody, because I don't want to watch somebody die, honestly. Alright. After this, we get probably one of the best matches of the night, surprisingly. Seth Rollins versus Elias. And my prediction was going to be Elias winning this. I thought Elias was finally going to get that Intercontinental title, especially after Seth, you know, destroying his guitar last week. on Raw, but I mean, apparently Seth wins. I mean, Seth is great. This match was really good, really fast-paced and physical. Elias was doing a great job. So many near falls. Elias at one point, Seth, he goes, he gets taken outside, and Elias is throwing him into the ring post, thrown into the barricade, thrown into the steel steps, brought in, and just near falls and all this stuff, just crazy stuff. These guys are working a fast pace. If you told me back when Elias was on NXT that someday he'd be facing Seth Rollins in a Intercontinental title match and he'd have possibly one of the best matches of the night, I'd be like, no way, Elias isn't that great. But no, he's that great. The Drifter is actually really fine in the ring, and Seth, I'm going to probably give a lot of credit to Seth for carrying this match, because when the Drifter was on, he was doing lots of chin locks, the chin lock and Cobra clutches and all this stuff, the heel work that the WWE heels do. So when Elias did it, he slowed down the pace of the match a lot, but it was fine. It doesn't make me mad. It didn't take away from the match too much. It wasn't too long that they were doing that. Seth was really carrying this match and selling his knee again. Every Seth Rollins match ever, he sells his knee, which I think kind of takes it a bit away from me, because how many times is he gonna sell that knee? Every match he sells it. It's I get it, he had an injury with it, and it's he's good at selling his knee, but it's every single match. It's not even that special anymore when he has a knee injury. It's well, great, Seth runs into the thing again, and now his knee is sore, and now Elias is going to take control of the knee, and that's what he's going to use the rest of the match to ground Seth Rollins. It's but that doesn't matter, because Seth is still going to fly off the top rope, and it's we've seen that before again and again and again, but overall, I thought this was a way better match than I thought it was going to be. I'd probably say it's a 7 out of 10 for me. Usually a Seth match gets an 8, but this time it gets 7. Oh, I got a text. Yeah, I'll answer that later. Yeah, so that match is fine. It was probably one of the better matches of the night. Yeah, nothing more I can say about that. Good job, Elias and Seth. You guys did a great job in the ring, I thought, and I would have even given it an 8 maybe, but I kind of seen the Seth Rollins formula a little bit too many times, and it's a lot of their matches are pretty similar in style. Okay, next is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And yeah, this match was pretty fun, I gotta say. Everybody's doing just crazy spots and stuff with ladders, smacking everybody with them. There was a crossbody onto Sasha Banks, it was Sasha Banks, and her back hits the top of the ladder, her shoulder area just hits the top of the ladder, and it looked brutal. I was like, man, these women, they did a way better job than last year. And everybody was nervous about James Ellsworth, coming in and ruining the match again. But he wasn't here this time, thank God. The match was really fantastic. Lots of really cool spots. Becky and Charlotte had the story in the match of being best friends, but now having to fight each other. It's like Bayley and Sasha, except it's not as annoying. Bayley Sasha has gone nowhere. This is at least, it's going something. I hope that it's just not gonna be dropped and then it's gonna be yeah, we're besties again, now we're enemies, now we're besties, now we're enemies. If we get 2 feuds like that in WWE, I'm just gonna have to stick with New Japan. I'm just kidding. I can't stop watching WWE because, honestly, that's probably the thing that's going to get me the most views on YouTube. And when I'm trying to start up this channel and I don't review WWE, just New Japan, I'm probably not going to get that many views overall. I love WWE. Just kidding. All right, and Naomi had this cool spot where like she gets like caught in the ladder, like she gets like dropped onto the ladder and is in the splits position on the ladder. Natalya comes, she runs, walks over the top of her, comes back around and just kicks her right in the face. Great move. Like, Natalya was awesome in this match. She was my pick to win. I thought she was going to win this, and like her and Ronda were going to feud after, but you know, that's not how it turned out. Ember Moon, she looked fine. Lana, she did was like Lana Crush, and then, you know, put I forgot who in the Accolade, but yeah, she put someone in the Accolade, and that was fun. Alexa Bliss, for the final moment of the match, she just sneaks up that ladder, gets up there, takes that Money in the Bank briefcase, and she's Miss Money in the Bank, which awesome. I love Alexa Bliss, and like I was like, oh man, she's gonna be great as Miss Money in the Bank. But you know, we'll get back to her later. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. How would I describe this match? Bad. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want this to be true. But this is a bad match. They didn't care. Nobody cared. The fans didn't care. Roman didn't care. Jinder didn't care. And they wonder why Roman doesn't get over. They keep wondering, why does Roman Reigns get booed? Why does he get booed out of the building? Because you made nobody care. Nobody gave a shit about this match. If I wrote notes for this, it would probably just be boring chinlock. Another boring chinlock. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of chinlocks. Lots of heel work by Jinder being like, yeah, I'm the best. Roman getting bursts of energy and then getting taken down again. Sunil Singh interfering. Although, one thing I have to give to Sunil Singh is, holy crap. When he took this, like, here's the story of the match. Sunil, he comes out and he's in a wheelchair, an arm brace, and a neck brace. Like, I like Sunil Singh actually, and I like Jinder a bit too. Like, I like his promo stuff. His wrestling sucks, but you know what? As a heel, he's fine. So Sunil, he comes out. He's in a wheelchair, and he tries to do the modern day Maharaja, but his throat is injured, so he can't really do it. And he's just like, Jinder, oh. It is so sore, and Jinder comes out and just pushes him down to ringside, which I thought was funny. It's like, poor Sunil Singh just got destroyed by Roman Reigns. It's like, if you had the match on Raw last week, and you know that was it probably would have gotten really over, because the fans loved Roman Reigns. They loved him so much. Like, they should have had Brock get beat by him at that Raw, you know. Just fly in Brock, be like, hey fans, this Raw is going to be like a little while longer. We're just going to wait for Brock to show up, and then we're going to have the title match and just switch it, you know. Just finish it. Let's finish this. Let's get it done. I don't want to see Roman Brock again in SummerSlam where Roman gets booed, and but yeah, so Sunil Singh, like, in the middle of the match, he, you know, gets up from his chair and he pushes Roman into the post 2 times. Well, he does it once, and like he just like, and Roman, like, you know, is knocked out, and then Sunil gets back in the chair. Corey Graves is like, wow, Sunil Singh miraculously recovers from his terrible injuries, which I laughed at that. I was like, all right, that's kind of funny. So, like, yeah, Sunil Singh miraculously recovers from his injuries, and later in the match, he goes for it one more time, but Roman, he catches himself, he turns around, looks at Sunil, and the referee's like, what are you doing? I thought you were injured. And then, like, Sunil, like, gets back in his chair, and he's like, see, I'm hurt. And then he gets back up, and, like, Roman, he gives him a Superman punch, and it's possibly the best selling of a Superman punch I've ever seen in my life. Sunil Singh jumps, like, 5 feet in the air, falls back into his wheelchair, and just falls right over on his ass. I was like, yes, that was the best thing in this entire match. Sunil Singh is the best guy to ever get beaten up. The Singh brothers, both of them, I miss the other Singh too, Samir. Both of those guys are the best at getting their asses kicked. Like, they sell that for everybody so great. I love watching them. They're great at selling. They're the best part of Jinder Mahal matches because they're so good at watching the faces just beat them up. Like, I'd like to see him in a handicap match against Braun Strowman. That would be fun. But, yeah. Then he hits a spear, and Sunil's head hits the back of the chair, which I was like, that's so brutal. That's another thing about the Singh brothers, is that they just take the worst bumps. And I feel bad for them sometimes. Like, the best bump ever in the history of a Punjabi prison match when Randy Orton threw, like, knocked Sunil, like, I think it's Sunil or Samir off the top of the cage and right through the announce table. Like, that was the most brutal bump I've ever seen in a match like that. Any kind of cage match. Like, that was awful. Like, he landed on his neck, just looked like he died. I was like, no. Okay, well, maybe not the most brutal match in a cage side match. I mean, Mick Foley's bump was probably the most brutal because he almost legit died. But, man, those Singh brothers, they're tough guys. You see, I've just been talking about the Singh brothers for like 3 to 5 minutes now, and I didn't even tell you one thing about Roman Jinder besides chin locks and Jinder getting some heel stuff. I don't know. It's boring. The fans are chanting, boring, this is awful, let's go Cena, Cena sucks, blah, 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 stuff like that, just over and over and over and over and over again. Just, it's not good. This sucks. The fans booed it. They brought out beach balls and people were cheering. I knew the beach balls came out because people looking over like that and they were just cheering. Even Jinder was looking at it. I thought that was funny. But then they take away and like everything like, bullshit, bullshit. I don't know if they're cheering for the beach ball or the match, but works either way. This match was bullshit. Just boring, boring, boring. Nothing happened. Pissed me off so much to watch this. Like, I don't want to watch Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns be like this. Alright? Both these guys are competent, I think, most of the time. Jinder a little less. Alright, Jinder can have a fine match if he's placed with the right opponent, but against Roman Reigns, he doesn't. Both these guys need someone to make the match a little more awesome. Even though I thought that Roman and Jinder were going to have a better match than Nia and Ronda, because people are saying Ronda can't, it's just having her first WWE match, and like it's going to be against Nia Jax, who's not like known to carry people, but turns out this match was the worst of the night, surprisingly. Like, by a landslide. Oh, this match for me gets a 2 out of 10. Not a 1, not a -1. I can go to negative ratings if I want. Alright. I'm going to do like the Dave Meltzer minus 5-star thing or whatever. But we're going to go with the negatives too for like the matches that are just totally incompetent. But this is a 2 out of 10 match. Because just nothing happened. It was boring. It didn't engage the fans. The fans were doing the wave. They were throwing around beach balls. Roman just wins with a spear. And that's it. It's just a boring match. Nothing exciting except Sunil Singh. You know what? Sunil brings up to a 3. 3 out of 10. That's final. Don't watch this match unless you want to watch the greatest Superman punch cell of all time. Even then, it's not really all that worth it. Not as good as the Jinder Mahal chop off the middle rope, which if he did that, this match would have been at least a 4 then, along with Sunil. But, whatever. Alright. Next is a SmackDown Women's Championship match, Carmella versus Asuka. Asuka, she's looking badass at the beginning, but then Carmella she gets Asuka, stunned and basically starts to take over the match, which I'm like, great. Well, Carmella looks strong now against Asuka, but Asuka, like, she's dazed. But eventually Asuka gets her comeback, and it's all great and happy, and like Asuka's just beating her up. They're doing just cool moves. Carmella, she's doing some submissions that are weird, and I'm like, all right. I can believe those. Asuka, she goes for the Asuka locks and all that, and it was great match. Having a great time with Asuka. But then, at the end of the match, the finish goes, someone comes out of the crowd dressed in Asuka robes and an Asuka mask and a black veil. And we all know who it was. Even the fans were chanting who it was. And thanks, WWE leaking stuff. Sorry, I'm a little clogged today. This match, I don't know, it makes my allergies just act up. This show, some of the stuff made my allergies act up, and now I'm just stuck like this. But yeah, so the person, they're sitting there, Asuka's so confused, she's like, what the hell is this? And we're all just like, what the hell is this? And we're all confused, and they take out their mask, and it's James Ellsworth with like the best reveal face ever. It's like, that made me laugh so hard. I was like, that's amazing reveal. Better than Vince McMahon being revealed as a higher power, in my opinion. It was so great. Ellsworth, I love him, man. He's great. So Asuka screams like she just seen a ghost. Like, I thought that was funny. It's like, is that how people usually react when they see James Ellsworth? Like, James Ellsworth. That was funny. That made me laugh so hard. And then Carmella hits her with a super kick and wins. I have to say, even though I kind of like the finish, it's just like, super kick to win? Really? They've been really beating Asuka a lot lately, and like, it's kind of hurting her, I think. She kind of needed this win. I mean, if you're not going to have her win, don't put her in this match. Should have maybe saved this, but I mean, I guess Money in the Bank, James Ellsworth helped her win the briefcase, so I mean, makes sense for him to help Carmella, win the title. Keep the title and Money in the Bank, So yeah, that's kind of how it goes. It's just it was a fine match. I'd give it a 5 out of 10, average, nothing great, But the ending was pretty fun. Watching James Ellsworth come back and he's celebrating, and like I like James Ellsworth. I'm happy he's back, because he seems like a cool guy, and like, he's been doing a lot of cool stuff in the indies. It's kind of unfortunate we're never going to see that. We're probably not going to see the intergender title be defended for a while, because I don't know if they're going to keep James Ellsworth off the indie scene, or if they're going to have him maybe just do whatever he wants, like a Chris Jericho. But kind of unfortunate he's not going to be able to do much. Probably. But after this, we get the last 3 matches, and finally WWE does something that I said they should be doing, because here's how I thought the card was going to go. Okay, so here's what happened. We got the WWE Championship match, we got the Raw Women's Championship match, and then we got the Money in the Bank match. And all 3 in a row at the end. Like, that's how you do it. That's how you do a final act of the card. Like New Japan, think about Dominion. They did Ospreay versus Takahashi, they did Chris Jericho versus Naito, and they did Omega and Okada to finish off the show. That's how you should do it. You should do your 3 biggest matches in the last part of the show all in a row, because the crowd is going to be hyped through all 3 of them. They're going to be excited. They're going to be like, yes, we got through the shit of the show, now we're getting to the best part. Well, I don't mean like the rest of the matches were shit. Even on Dominion, every match was awesome, but I mean, this is the 3 most important matches of the night, and the crowd will go crazy for all 3 of them. You don't want them to, crescendo and then go down, then up and then down, because I think it kind of lowers it each time. They get tired when they see great matches like that. But when you do like all 3 in a row, I think it can work. Like tonight, all the fans were hyped for all 3 final matches. AJ Nakamura, everybody was excited for this match. No boring chants, no bullshit chants. All you hear is Nakamura, AJ Styles. Nakamura, he takes control early of this match. Well, actually, no. Scratch that. Styles takes control early. And he's beating up Nakamura. Nakamura's selling this thing like great. He's a great heel, I think. One of the best heels in wrestling, on SmackDown. He's awesome. He's just selling it like he's getting like hit by a train every shot. But then, he suddenly starts to take control, and he's throwing AJ Styles into like the barricades. He's throwing him into the steel steps. He's smashing his face. He does a good vibrations in the corner, and then one on the steel steps, which I thought was pretty cool. Just really, really doing a great job. I really liked the match. AJ, he tries to go for a Styles clash. Nakamura goes for a uppercut to the balls, but AJ gets out of the way. And Nakamura, he's sitting there begging for mercy. And he's like, no, please don't hurt me. And then AJ just beats the shit out of him. Fun. I think this is my favorite match of all 3, or all 1, 2, 5 of them. I think this is number 5. But one thing I have to give is that 5 matches with AJ Nakamura in a month is like too much. You really kind of killed the specialness of it. Now it's just another match. It's like we've seen it so many times. It's like it's just not special anymore. I think this has to be the end of the feud, or else it's or else you're just gonna have a non-special match in the next pay-per-view. So next, you get AJ gets the chair. He starts beating Nakamura with it, and I thought he hit Nakamura in the head with the chair, but I guess he just hit his shoulder, which I thought, oh my god, I went for an unprotected chair shot to the head, and then a smack to the back, and he's like, stay down for that one. Nakamura, he gets up on his knees, and he's begging AJ for mercy, and AJ, he teases that he's going to hit Nakamura right in the head and finish this shit, just end his career, say, I'm done. AJ goes to hit him. Nakamura hits him with an uppercut right to the balls. AJ is down, and Nakamura just basically kills him. Nakamura, he hits a Kinshasa on AJ, but AJ makes it up at the count of 9. There's one spot where AJ's laid out on the table after a Kinshasa. And like Nakamura thinks he has it won, but at like 9.5, AJ just suddenly hops up and gets to his feet, just really, really close and near falls. This was a great last man standing match because every moment I was like, oh my god, it's over. And it's like, no, it's not. And it went for a while. I'm like, that's good. I felt great, watching this match. This match was fun, and best moment of the night comes when they both get up. They're both just beaten up. Nakamura is leaning back. He's like, come on. So AJ says, all right. And he just kicks him right in the balls in probably the best nut shot I've ever seen in a wrestling ring. In a wrestling match. Just, bam, kicks him right there. You just hear this smack throughout the arena. And it sounded like a baseball bat hitting a watermelon. And, like, Nakamura sold that like it was the worst move he ever taken. Now AJ, he brings him up to the steel steps on the bottom, section of the steel steps. Styles clashed right off of it. Nakamura, well, actually no, I think that was before it. Nakamura, he kicks Nakamura in the balls. AJ goes in for a phenomenal forearm right through the table. Nakamura is down for the count of 10, and AJ Styles is still your WWE champion. Awesome match. I'd give this a 8.5 out of 10. Just really fun match. I loved it. It was really good. Really good match. Like, doesn't get a 9 or a 10 because I've seen this before. We've seen these guys wrestle 5 times in a month, and it's not as special as it used to be. Like, we've seen all these spots a lot, and I'm kind of getting burned out on the whole AJ Nakamura feud. I think you need to move on to something else. We can go back to AJ Nakamura in maybe 6 months or a few months. Just maybe next year's not next year's WrestleMania. At WrestleMania after that. Like, these guys should have a long feud. They should just be fighting each other all the time. Like, you know, like as a feud to come back to, like a Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, maybe. But I mean, but like, even then, it's like, I don't even know about that. It's just not special anymore. I've seen this match so many times lately. You know, we saw it at Wrestle Kingdom. We saw it here. We saw it at Backlash. We saw it on SmackDown. We saw it on the Greatest Royal Rumble. We saw it at WrestleMania. We saw it so many times that it's not special. I think they even pointed out that 4 times in a month these guys faced. This was time number 5 in the preview for the match. And I'm like, well, good job telling your fans that this match isn't special, because you can watch this 4 other times. You've watched this 4 other times. And all those other times, we've only gotten 1 clean finish in all 4 of those. This is the second match with a clean finish. In Nakamura, he doesn't look good. He only won 1 of those matches. AJ won the other. But I mean, even then, every other time, well, actually AJ won 2, Nakamura's won 1, but every other match is just a draw. It's like, Nakamura looks like a chump because he can't get the job done. So I mean, let's just move on from this feud. I love Nakamura and Styles. I think they're great wrestlers, and they put on good matches. They just happen to have bullshit finishes. And I'm glad this one isn't a bullshit finish and actually had a pretty good story, but it's just like, I have to give it an 8.5. I would give it a 9, but it's just not there for me. It doesn't really, it's not a 9 or a 10 anymore for me to watch them fight. It's just not exciting. Like, it's still exciting, but it's not as exciting as it should be. Not like when I first watched their match at WrestleMania, and you know, like, I was excited. Me and my friend were sitting there, we're so hyped. I'm cheering Nakamura, my friend's cheering AJ. It's just crazy. It's not like that. It's not like that moment. It's just like, well, let's see what happens one more time. You know, let's see if we get a clean finish or not. That's not how I should feel during a wrestling match. But, you know, whatever. Next, we get the Raw Women's Championship match between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. And this match I was nervous about, because I'm like, they have to either have Ronda win or something bad has to happen. You can't have Nia beat her, because then it's like, well, great, you killed Ronda Rousey. She's no longer special. She had her first loss in her first match as a singles competitor. This was her first ever singles match. Not at house shows. Not anywhere. Performance Center, she's probably had singles matches, but this is her first ever singles match on television or anywhere. Never had one. It's like, this got me so nervous. And then you're facing Nia, who I'm like, no offense to Nia Jax fans or Nia Jax herself, which you're probably not watching this. I doubt Nia Jax is like, oh, I wonder what Minnesota Joe is thinking about me. I doubt it. But, you know, whatever. This match was actually not that bad. I thought they both did a really good job for what they were given and the time. They made good use of all the time they had. And, you know, Nia, she did a lot of splashes. Ronda, she threw lots of punches. Did a judo throw. Did like this weird kind of like version of a rock bottom, which I was like, you know, those were actually some pretty cool moves. I thought Ronda looked pretty good, you know, and her punches, I think, are the best punches in WWE and probably all of wrestling right now, because when Ronda punches, it actually looks legit. It doesn't look fake. And I'll give that to Ronda. She has some real looking punches. And I like that. I think she has the best punches, you know, in wrestling, because she has all this experience, you know, being an MMA fighter and all that. I think, you know, she got really good at punching, and she can make it look pretty legit, and I like that. We don't get to see that a lot, because a lot of the punches you kind of can just tell, oh yeah, that doesn't land. But it's like how she gets in there and just does all these like punches to Nia, and it's like, oh man, it actually looks real. I actually like that. Ronda, you're great at punching. I'll give you that. And like the armbar stuff, trying to transition and doing like all these submission holds and trying to do a triangle choke and all this, really good MMA stuff. Nia, she thwarted. She gets like out of a armbar by doing that slam, like that she did to the one jobber on Raw that one time, and Ronda, it looks like she's getting whipped into the barricades. She's getting just thrown around everywhere, getting thrown across the ring and back and forth. Everything doesn't look good for Ronda. Ronda's getting her butt kicked. But then she gets that arm bar. She's about to lock it in. Nia, she's holding on by her fingers and she's screaming like, no, no, no. Boom, it breaks. And Ronda has Nia's arm and she's about to do it. But then who comes in other than Alexa to hit Ronda right in the back of the head for the DQ? Ronda, she gets a DQ win. So, I mean, at least she didn't lose. I'll give that. So I guess she technically won her first match, but I mean, it was by bullshit. But I mean, whatever. This is probably the best outcome you could do without giving Ronda the title. Ronda probably would need to win the title for a better outcome. But I mean, even then, it would be like, oh, her first match, she wins the title. But yeah, Alexa, she hits Ronda and she starts hitting Nia and she hits Ronda again, just keeps destroying both of them. Make sure Ronda is down so Ronda can't come in and retaliate and like cost Alexa her match. So she makes sure Ronda is out. Should have thought of that next time, Baron Corbin, when you have a match, when you're cashing your Money in the Bank briefcase and you don't knock out John Cena good enough to make sure he's down, you dumbass. So, yeah, this ends with Ronda Rousey, getting knocked out. Nia Jax is in the ring. Alexa cashes in her briefcase, really takes down Nia, and hits the Twisted Bliss and gets back the title. So good for Alexa. Alexa is great. Love Alexa. She's a good champion, and hopefully, her and Ronda can have a feud. I think that would be pretty good. I think Alexa could probably bring Ronda to a decent match. Like, these women, all three of these women, they did a great job in this, and I liked it. I thought it was a lot better than I was expecting. I was kind of expecting a shit show, but it was better, Like, sure, it wasn't a perfect match, no. In fact, there was a botched Samoan drop that looked really scary. Ronda, I don't know if it was her fault, if it was Nia's. I don't want to blame anybody. It was just bad communication. And Ronda lands right on her face with this Samoan drop, and I was like, oh my god, don't hurt Ronda. If she gets hurt, that's really going to hurt this company right now, because, I mean, they need her, especially with this new Fox deal they're doing for like $1 billion. She needs to be on SmackDown and on the network TV show, to bring in those viewers, because Ronda Rousey is awesome, and I like her in WWE. She's really good. She's really doing a good job, and I can't wait to see what she's going to look like a year from now when she gets all this experience in the ring, and she does a lot more one-on-one matches on house shows and stuff, and on Raw maybe, does some matches. Don't give her too many matches on TV, I'd say, so that she's special. I say like maybe 2 a month at most. Like on Raw, 2 a month for matches. Don't make her lose her specialness. She's already kind of losing it because she's been on TV so much. It just seems like another wrestler, but I mean, still, it's Ronda Rousey, so I mean, she's awesome. I love Ronda, and I'm happy she's in WWE. Lastly, we get to my match of the night. I think my favorite Money in the Bank match of all time. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match, the big main event. Throughout the show, we've had segments with like Kevin, on Raw, and Kevin Owens, he goes up to the New Day trying to talk to them about beating up Braun Strowman backstage. He comes in with pancakes. I forgot to mention this is my favorite moment of the night, honestly. He goes with the pancakes, lets them all down, and has 2 bottles of maple syrup and says, I want to offer you a peace treaty. Which one of you guys is going to be in the match, by the way? They're like, we're not going to tell you. So, okay. But whoever's not going to be in it, maybe the two of you can go beat up Braun Strowman, and they're like, we're many things, but we're not cheaters. And Kevin's like, all right, fine. And like, they're eating the pancakes like Kevin Braun. They're just like, hey, Kevin, you want some? Kevin's like, no, I don't really like pancakes. I'm like, what? You don't like pancakes? He says, I don't like breakfast cereal in general. And he says, I even tried your like breakfast food in general. He's like, I don't like pancakes, cereal, and waffles and stuff like that. And he's like, I tried your cereal, and I obviously thought it sucked. And the reaction they had, Xavier Woods looks like he had a heart attack. And then Big E is like, what? Get out of here, fool! Big E is the best thing ever. He was just, oh my god, that was so funny. And they take the syrup from him, and Kevin says, fine, but IHOP is smart changing their name to IHOB. Burgers are way better than pancakes. I love Kevin Owens too. Both these two, like the New Day and then Kevin Owens, they're the best combination ever. So yeah, Kevin, he goes in with no friends. Nobody wants to team up with him. But at the beginning of the match, when everybody comes out, and the New Day reveals their contender, who ends up being Kofi Kingston. They tease Big E, then they tease Xavier, but then Xavier rips his shirt off like Hulk Hogan and says, "It's Kofi!" Kofi's written on his chest, and Kofi goes in, showing that Kofi this is his 7th Money in the Bank match, which I'm like, wow. Like, that's like over half the Money in the Bank matches I think that's about half the Money in the Bank matches there have been. Like, for the men. There's been a lot of Money in the Bank matches, and he's been 7. Like, he tied Kane now, I guess. So that's pretty cool. Good for you, Kofi. That's a cool moment you got to be in one more. And so, yeah, like the beginning of the match, they all attack Braun. Everybody is attacking him, and then the Miz starts attacking Finn, and then the pile kind of breaks up, and Braun just gets out. Braun just starts laying waste to everybody, just destroying people. And then Kevin, he does one more run at Braun Strowman and just gets knocked out, which I thought was funny. I just love watching Kevin and Braun. I want them to have like an year-long feud where just Kevin gets his ass kicked the whole time, because I just like watching Kevin just get his butt kicked by Braun Strowman, because he sells it better than anybody ever. So Kevin and him are fighting, and Kevin's like laid out, and Braun, he gets to the outside, and everybody just starts attacking Braun. They all hit him. Finn hits him with a move. Another guy hits him with a move. And then Kevin, he sees that Braun's weakened, so he goes for one more rush at him. He's like, I'm finally going to get Braun this time. I'm finally going to get him. He runs, screams, and then Braun just smacks him and then knocks him on the ground, and Kevin is just lying in pain. Awesome. Awesome. Kevin is just so great at getting beaten up. I love Kevin Owens. And Braun, he gets back further and further, and they start beating him up, and they bury him under a bunch of ladders, basically taking care of Braun Strowman. And then the match proceeds. Samoa Joe is in there. He's just throwing everybody around, beating up all these fools. Rusev is giving the Machka kicks. Finn Balor is drop kicking people everywhere. Just awesome carnage. People are smacking people with ladders. Everything's going crazy. And, they tease that they're going to Kevin Owens is going to do a frog splash off the top of a ladder through the announce table, but he gets stopped. That sets up for a cool move later. The match just keeps going, and they get back there, and Braun is starting to get up. Somebody grabs a ladder. I think it was Finn grabs the ladder, but that awakens Braun Strowman. He gets up like a monster coming out of a grave and just starts throwing everybody around, laying waste to everybody. But the 3 big men, Samoa Joe, Rusev, and Kevin, all come in and just start beating up Braun. And Kevin's like, Rusev, put Braun on this table. Kevin sets up a table, and Braun keeps fighting him off. But then Joe comes around and chokes out Braun Strowman, and he lays him on the table. He's like, Kevin, get your ass up there. And Kevin, he starts climbing, and he's nervous. Joe and Rusev are holding him down, and like Kevin's shaking while he's getting to the top of the ladder. He's sitting up there. He's like, "Oh God, this is not a good idea." But Braun kicks Rusev. He throws Samoa Joe away, and then Braun gets up, and Kevin is like, "Oh no, no, no!" And Braun starts just climbing the ladder faster than a bear climbing a tree. And Kevin is just trying to slide down as fast as he can, but Braun grabs his hand, and Kevin's like, no, 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 no. And he grabs him by the hair, pulls him up to the top, very tip top of this, like, 25-foot ladder. I swear to God, it was like 25 feet. It was ridiculously high. And Braun, he grabs him and starts shouting in his face, "I told you never to do stuff like this to me again." And Kevin's like, "I'm sorry, don't hurt me, please, mercy." Throws him off of this 25-foot ladder through the two tables that are set up over right next to it, and Kevin Owens dies. He's dead. He's sitting there. He's holding his head. It looked like his head smacked the concrete, which is brutal. Poor Kevin. Oh my God. He didn't show up for the rest of the match. And that's the end of Kevin Owens. I have to say, I hope he doesn't show up on Raw. That'd make it even better if like he was so messed up in this match. He doesn't show up on Raw, and then a week later he shows up and he's just in a full body cast in a wheelchair. I'd be like, yeah, all right, great. Really sell that, man, because holy crap, a 25-foot drop through two tables, and those tables broke so easy it looked like it didn't even stop his fall. Maybe it did, but he really sold it like it didn't stop his fall. So I felt bad for him. Yeah, Kevin, he's gone. The Miz, Braun, he then goes up, and Bobby Roode and Finn Balor, they have a ladder and they're gonna smack him with it, but Braun runs through the two of them, breaks through the ladder like it's a finish line at a marathon, and Bobby and Finn are laid out, and Miz is in the ring. He's like, and he just tries to scurry up the ladder, but then Braun stops him and kills him. They all proceed to go back in, attack Braun. Finn does a double drop kick to Braun and knocks him into the timekeeper area, which is awesome. And then Bobby Roode and Finn fight, but then Finn knocks down Bobby Roode. He's going to go for a coup de grace, but then he's going for a springboard move, but then he looks at the ladder and he says, "I'm going to go up that ladder and do a coup de grace off the ladder." Goes up the top of this ladder that was for the spot through the announce table. Does a coup de grace off of that right over the top, right over the ropes into the ring onto Bobby Roode, which is awesome. I thought that was a really cool moment. One of the best spots of the night. And Finn, he gets up there, he tries to climb, and Miz tries to climb. Everybody's trying to get up there. Rusev, he does this cool moment where he has the accolade on somebody, but then Kofi comes in, but he stops Kofi, and Kofi is like stacked on top of, I think, Bobby Roode, and he grabs Bobby Roode. He does like the Machka, kicks Kofi, picks him up, picks up Bobby Roode, double accolade, and then another guy comes in, he knocks him onto the pile too. Rusev goes Machka, a triple accolade. That was the coolest thing. I was like, Rusev is the best. Rusev number one. Rusev is the greatest. By the way, Aiden English, I guess it was his hometown, so he was wearing like the Chicago flag on his jacket, and it looked really cool. I love Aiden. And so yeah, that ends when Samoa Joe comes in and chokes out Rusev. And they're all trying to climb. Everybody's climbing. They're fighting. And Finn, he gets up there. But then here comes Braun getting up there. But then Kofi does a springboard right onto Braun's back. And he's climbing Braun like a backpack he's a backpack all the way up to the top with Braun. And Finn is punching him, then punching Kofi, punching him, punching Kofi. Kofi teases falling off of Braun, which is scary. I was like, don't die, Kofi. And, but Finn gets knocked off by Braun. And then Braun just grabs Kofi and just chucks him off of him. Gets up there, grabs the briefcase. He's Mr. Monster in the Bank. Loved this match. It was awesome. Awesome. Yes. I mean, this is probably my favorite Money in the Bank match of all time. Braun Strowman is the best. I love Braun, man. When I first saw him, I thought, I don't know about this guy. He might not be that great. But it turns out he's the greatest of all time. Nobody is better than Braun Strowman, honestly. I love me some Braun. And, yeah, this was the best way to end this match. This was the best match of the night, I'd say. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It was awesome match. If you haven't watched it and you love Destruction like I do, watch it. I love Destruction. Like, sure, some people would probably say, this match wasn't great because the Okada match was way better. Of course it is. Okada Omega is the best match of all time. But this is awesome as well. When you compare WWE to New Japan, like a lot of us do, and even I do sometimes, like, I obviously think New Japan is way better, and all the matches on the New Japan Dominion card were no lower than a 7, I'd say. Like, the worst matches were probably a 7. Most of them were like 8, 9, 10, and Okada Omega was like probably a 12. A 12 for me. Like, greatest match of all time. That's how great it was. But this show, it had a lot of fun. I love the New Day's antics. I love Kevin Owens. I love Braun. I love The Miz. I love Bobby. Well, like, I feel Bobby Roode. I love Finn Balor. I love Rusev. I love Samoa Joe. I just love everybody in this match. It's awesome. I just really, really like this Money in the Bank match. I could say it's my favorite of all time. I mean, I don't have a lot of memory of the other Money in the Bank ladder matches because, they're really forgettable. But this one was fun. And Braun finally being Universal Champion. I say he should go on Raw and he should say, yeah, I'm going to cash in on Brock Lesnar. And at SummerSlam, I want to face you, Brock. Don't let it be Roman again. Roman is not going to get cheered at SummerSlam. I don't care how ambitious you are, Vince McMahon, but Roman is not getting cheered at SummerSlam. It's never going to happen. But yeah, this match is fantastic. This show was pretty good, I have to say. Like, when you compare it to Backlash, this was leagues above Backlash. Backlash is the worst show of the year, honestly. It was the worst show of this year. Definitely worst show for WWE. I don't think there is ever going to get any worse than that for at least this year, But, like, you have that last month, but then you have this, and it's like, hey, you know what? Sure. Was there bad stuff? Yes. The beginning matches were shit. The SmackDown Women's Championship match was just average. I don't know. I didn't watch the kickoff match, but I'm pretty sure that's just a normal Bludgeon Brothers match. But everything else surprised me how fun it was, especially after watching Dominion and all this. Like I said, it's hard. Is it better than the NXT show? Hell no. Hell no. I'd say Money in the Bank is like a 6.5 out of 10. Or a 7. We'll go with 7. A great show. Great show. Nothing like fantastic, but you know what? It was fine. It's a very great show. Jinder and Roman is definitely the worst match of the night. That match really brought the crowd down, but hey, they came back. At least it wasn't like Backlash where it was like the best match of the nights at the beginning and then the rest of the card was boring. This happened in the middle of the show. It's kind of like a piss break match. The crowd got to have fun antics. They at least played around and had a little fun with beach balls and doing the wave and stuff, which, I find annoying. But in this match, I don't give a shit. This match was boring, honestly. They didn't really give you much to cheer about anyways. Like, is it unfair that the fans shit on this match in the first 5 seconds? Yeah, they didn't even give it a chance. But even then, why would they change their minds? They didn't do anything to change their minds. There was no cool suicide dives. There was no moves we've never seen before. It was just Jinder putting Roman in shin locks and Roman getting back his heat and blah 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 blah. But yeah, after that main event, I was like, you know what, this show's great. So yeah, I recommend, if you haven't watched this show, I'd say skip the first 2 matches. Skip Roman and Jinder, and the rest of the show you'll find fine. You might even say, I actually really enjoyed this show. In my opinion, I really had fun watching it, especially with a friend. Maybe if I watched it by myself, I'd hate it more. But like usually with WWE shows, they're a little harder to watch by yourself. But get some buddies and watch some of these like great matches, and you'll be really happy and you won't regret it. So there you go. That's my review for Money in the Bank. Sorry about the audio like lip syncing issues that I had on my takeover review. I'm gonna try recording through something else, my voice recording, and I'm gonna hope that my camera can, keep this going, and like I don't have to maybe get a new camera or something. I don't know if it was a camera or if it was my audio, but we're gonna try this out, and if it's off sync again, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna get these issues fixed. And thank you all for watching, and have a good day, night, wherever time you're watching this. I'm signing out. I'm your goatee champion, and peace.